Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today's Thursday, June 29th. It is 6:20 right now. Market's gonna open in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update. And we should be good to go. See what else I got to do over here. Send this link out to you guys over here real quick. So, all right, so let's get a few moments for people to make their way in. And then we will get started shortly with our analysis for today. Solid. So I'm gonna check a couple of things here. All right, let me just finish updating this real quick. And my settings are all screwed up. All right, 1 second, guys. Sorry. The settings right here keep getting screwed up for the stream. Sorry, there's like technical issues right now with the stream. I think you guys are fine though, right? Can you guys hear me all right? So I want to make sure the Zoom's kind of like lagging on me. So I'm trying to make sure everything here is fine. I think it should be fine though. Okay, cool. Perfect. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Rashida. Thanks, Casey. Thanks, everybody. All right, cool. So I'm just going to finish making the small updates right here, and then we'll get started with our analysis shortly. And just one thing that I want to give you guys a heads up for. I'm going to be applying this old strategy that it was basically one of the first strategies that I started to trade with when I was scalping. Back then, I didn't really know what I was doing. So I was making a lot of profits scalping, but I didn't really have any logic behind my entries, like any real logic. Now that I have the indicators, I've kind of retouched on it. I met with the main think tank members here in the group, and it works really good. It's super lucrative. So I'll be taking some trades. I'm not going to explain how I do it yet because obviously it's a very advanced way of trading, but I'll tell you guys if I'm trading in at a certain point. And if you guys decide to take it with me, feel free to take it with me. But again, I just want to give you guys a heads up. It's going to be all speculation and it's not going to be one of the official entries. Again, the only official entries that we're really looking for here are going to be the liquidity and also the V1 variations. All right, so I got everything set up here. I'm going to go through this real quick, guys, because I know the market's going to open shortly. So you guys might see me, or you guys might hear me making comments to certain people in the group, Sisu, CT, Maddie, Gion, regarding a scalping entry, but I'm not going to be explaining it. So I just want to give you guys a heads up before you guys ask, and don't bother asking, guys. Please, just if you guys are curious about the entries, if it's not a V1 variation and it's not liquidity, don't bother asking about it, because I'm not going to explain it, and I don't want to get too, because it's a complicated strategy. And everyone was kind of telling me, like, good luck applying it during the live session, because I'm going to get a bunch of questions. So I just want to make it clear right now that I'm not going to be answering any questions regarding that specific strategy. At some point in the future, maybe I will be teaching it to the more advanced traders, but for the most part, it's just going to be something that I'm going to be applying myself, because you need to have the actual skill. Like, you have to know how to read price action. You have to know how to like move really quickly to take those types of entries. And I'll let you guys know when I'm taking them if you guys do want to tag along, but they're not going to be considered official entries. Okay. I just want to give you guys a heads up. I made the stream private today so that I can tell you guys, just you guys, this strategy is crazy. It's very profitable. And I don't want anybody else to be using it outside of our group. So yeah, I'll let you guys know when I'm taking the entries, and you guys are free to hop in if you like, but again, it's going to be a risky type entry, very speculative, very subjective, and I'm going to be testing it out for the most part. Yeah, Maddie, you saw the one at 628, 27. I was looking at that one too, bro. I was waiting for it, but it got close to market open, and I just decided not to take it. It's all good. The 5 o'clock 1 hour entry also hit. All right, so we got liquidity marked up right here. Yeah, me too, Maddie. Again, just wait until 7 o'clock to take those scalp entries. All right, so liquidity is down below right here. It's not super far, but it is a bit of a distance, about 700 pips away. So we'll see. There was news today this morning at 5:30, I believe. So there was news at 5:30 and 5:32. I'm going to go and mark that up real quick. I mean, it wouldn't really matter. His price is so far from it, but just for your guys' knowledge. Gotcha. Maria said the liquidity pushed the upside, hit CP already. Yeah, there's a lot of movement here pre-market. There was news at 5:30, so it kind of pushed price around. I think we have a couple other news events here at 7 o'clock and 7:30. Okay, so we got news over here at 7 o'clock, pending home sales, month over month, year over year. And then we have natural gas storage as well. So 7:30, there's going to be some news coming up. That's going to be something that we're going to be looking out for. Market's going to open in about 1 minute, guys. All right, so I'm gonna need a lot of focus this session, because I'm going to be applying that other scalp strategy. I'll try to give you guys as big of a heads up as possible, but this type of strategy is very quick. And you have to be very alert and very assertive when it comes up. So I'll be marking it up, and I'll tell you guys, hey, I'm going to take this for 100 pips or so. And if I exit manually, because this strategy also requires that you exit manually in some circumstances to cut your losses, I'll tell you guys when I'm exiting. So I'll try to explain myself as much as possible when I'm looking for the entries. But again, as I mentioned, I'm not going to be explaining to you guys. So if you guys see me do something that's unusual, if it's not a liquidity push and it's not a V1 variation, please don't ask about it, because I'm not going to explain it. It's just too complicated for a beginner trader to learn. You really have to know how to read the market in order to take this type of scalp entry. So there goes the opening bell, guys. Price is pushing around. Closest level of liquidity is going to be down below here. If price comes down and touches it, I'm not going to take it right away, because it's going to be so overextended, about 1,000 pips. So again, if I'm going to look for this liquidity down here, I'm going to wait for price to kind of go sideways a bit as it comes down. It comes down and goes sideways and it breaks through. Great, I'll take it. But if it just comes straight down, I'm not going to take it. And again, Maddie, CT, Kip, Sisu, Gian, the guys that are helping me with back testing and applying this new, well, not really new strategy, these strategies here. I'll let you guys know, or if you guys want to give some input. I know Maddie will be, so if you guys want to give some input, feel free. but I will let you guys know when I'm making entries, because I know some of you guys do get upset when I take entries and don't tell you. So main strategies that we're going to be applying, which are going to be considered official, guys, is going to be the liquidity push, of course, and then the V1 variations over here. So let me go take a analysis real quick of the market. So overall bias for today, retail sentiment is starting to pick up for the buy side, or they're stacking up on the shorts. So might start to have some sort of bias moving forward. All right, so I believe retail sentiment right now is currently 58% short, or it just changed actually a lot in the last like maybe 30 minutes. It was 58% short pre-market, it's now 54% short. So I take that back, it's actually not moving. It's still neutral. All right, fundamental bias, I think this is neutral as well. Yeah, 2 points, nothing. Neutral, short-term technicals. We've got a bearish bias here, price below the pivots, trend meter red, pivots angling down. With that said, we have a bearish bias with regard to short-term technicals. Long-term technicals, we've got a neutral bias. Prices in between on the 4-hour, prices in between on the 1-hour, prices slightly below on the 30-minute, but it's pretty much neutral overall. So not really much of a bias right now, guys. This is typical summer conditions, so don't worry. That's pretty much regular. And it's anticipated and expected. So around 7 o'clock, I'll start looking for the scalps that I was mentioning. If you guys are just joining the Zoom, guys, just a heads up, the main strategies that we're going to be applying, which are going to be considered official, are going to be the V1 variations and the liquidity pushes. I'm going to be applying this other scalp strategy that I used to apply when I first started trading a long time ago. Like I started applying this strategy like maybe, 7-10 years ago, but back then I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't have the indicators. So I was making a lot of profit, but then I would lose a lot of trades because I didn't know how to get out of the position. Now I've created these indicators, so it helps a lot with identifying direction, momentum, when to enter and when to exit. So I've been applying it lately and it's been working very well for me and a lot of the other members here who have been helping me with it. So I'll be applying another scalp strategy. If I'm applying something, guys, and it doesn't look like a V1 variation or a liquidity push, please don't ask about it because I'm not going to answer any questions regarding it. It's a very advanced way to trade, and it's not meant for beginners. So I'm not going to be teaching that strategy to anyone that I don't think is ready for it. So in the future, I might be hosting an advanced training class. I'll have you guys come in person. We'll sit through an entire New York session and trade it live, like in person, because it's very complicated to teach to a beginner. So again, guys, 2 main strategies that you guys can ask questions about: V1 variation and liquidity push. But if you see me doing something different that's not neither of those strategies, I'm not going to answer any questions regarding that. So because this strategy is like, it's super quick, like it's very quick and you have to be very alert and you have to know how to read price action. The indicators help you identify direction and momentum. But for this specific scalp strategy, it pretty much, you can run it all throughout New York session and make, like we've done the test like over the past couple of days, each day it's probably like maybe 20 to 30 wins and then maybe like 2 losses. And those 2 losses are like minimal. They're not like 300 pips. You can cut them short if some type of criteria does come up. So I'll be applying it. So if I do see an entry for it, I'll let you guys know. I'll say, hey, if price reaches a certain point. Also for this strategy, it uses price points. So I'll be having lines up here drawn up. So I'll be looking for price points for entry. So you guys will see, I'll have like a line drawn up here and I'll say something like, hey, if price comes back and touches this area, I'm going to enter for a quick scalp for 100 pips. And then you guys can enter with me. But again, those entries are going to be speculative. Okay. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that TP is going to be 100 pips. Stop loss is going to be 250 pips. And then there's going to be an opportunity to cut losses even earlier if need be, because the market's not always going to move perfect. So if we need to cut losses early, like 100 pips or less, then we'll be doing that. So I just want to give you guys a heads up before you guys are confused about what I'm doing. I've made this stream private, so YouTube is closed off to this. I want to let you guys know, but I don't want to share this with anybody else because this isn't something that I want to be leaked out to anybody. All right, but anyways, nothing here right now. Let's see, there's no liquidity. Prices in between. First level liquidity is down below here. It's about like now 1,000 pips away from. So 1,000 pips down. Then also to the top, it's about 1,300 pips up. So there's no liquidity nearby. There's no overall bias yet, so we can't really take any V1 variations. The only thing I can possibly look for here would be the other scalp strategy that I was referring to, but we're going to be applying that from like 7 to 8 because the market kind of moves crazy pre-market or pre-market into open. So basically 6 to 7 market kind of moves a little erratic. And then it starts to smoothen out around 7. So yeah, the trend looks like it's shifting right here, Maddie. You can see the trend meter down below. Trend meter starting to shift. To the other side. Yeah, so we'll see where this ends up going. So there's a couple things here that we have to look for. We have to look for either an overall bias so that we can start looking for V1 variations, or we'll have to wait for market to get to liquidity, which is not there yet. So yeah, again, it's just a waiting game, guys. Typical waiting game that we play here. Let's see. Yeah, bias isn't really shifting that much. Let's take a look at the news for CNBC. It says 5 things to know before the stock market opens Thursday. Let's see. So number 1, Powell looms. Stocks were mixed Wednesday after the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell again warned that tighter monetary policy is on the way. That was expected. Game stuff here for Microsoft, Goldman Sachs. The 23 biggest banks passed the Federal Reserve's annual stress test, although varied. Bed Baths, Great Beyond, and Russia. So not really, I mean, there's stuff here that can affect what we're trading, but not necessarily. I mean, the only big thing would be Powell. Microsoft over here, of course, I think it's part of the US30, right? Let me check real quick. Yeah, they're part of US30. So actually, yeah, I guess Microsoft can affect it as well. But it's just one stock, so we'll see. All right, price is pushing back up right here, as you can see. This is completely fine. We're just waiting for it to, get somewhere. If price does push up higher, then that's normal. It's fine. If that's the case, then price will likely come and test this area here. If price does come and test this up area up here, then you want to wait for it to kind of consolidate a bit. So you can see right here, our price is pushing up. Price has not retraced yet. So price does push from this low right here all the way up to this liquidity area. That's 2,160 pips of a push without any retracement. So what you want to look for here is you actually want to see price kind of fake out and kind of bounce around a bit. So you want price to push up, maybe consolidate here for a bit, push up further, consolidate, push up even further, drop back down. You actually want price to fake out somewhere here. You want price to actually dump pretty heavily so that when it comes back up, it gets closer, retraces, and then it blasts right through. This is the type of pattern that you want to see here. You don't want to see it just go straight up. If you see it go straight up and blast right through, unless there's news there or some sort of catalyst really pushing price through, then great. But if price just goes straight up, so this is what you want to see. This is what you don't want to see. You don't want price to go straight up, because if this is the case, price will probably trigger it, fake out hard, consolidate here for a bit, come back up, fake out hard again, stop people like twice, come down slightly, come back up, consolidate, and actually blast through. So this is what you don't want to happen. I've seen these patterns play out over and over again. I mean, you guys can call it what you like. If you want to call it an M pattern, W pattern, whatever, you can, but these are the patterns that I typically see happen very often. You don't want to get into something like this because you'll get faked out. So what I do recommend is to just, be a little patient and wait for the messiness to occur. You actually want the messiness to happen, because this right here is going to have to come down at some point. There's going to be some sort of retracement. So yeah, let's see where this ends up going. I'm going to mark up opening price as well. Opening price was way down here. Way down there. Let's see what else we got over here. All right, so as you guys can see, price is starting to get a little messy right there. That's exactly what we wanted. So this is a good thing. We want this to get messy. All right. So, I mean, it's just a waiting game now. Price is getting a little messy. That's exactly what we're looking for. And now it's just a waiting game, waiting for price to push back up. So right here is doing exactly what I mentioned. I said price is pushing up. You want it to get a little messy here. Price pushes up, consolidate a bit, push back up, consolidate a little bit, push back up, consolidate slightly, and then come right through. So on something like that, or even like a fake out, price can even come down, fake out a little bit. And then from there, come back up and blast right through. So we're pretty much just waiting for confirmation here. Maddie, for the scalps, we're looking for a sell signal and then looking for it to correct back up. It's too late now for us to take this. I mean, this could technically be the entry right here, Maddie, but it's still early too. It's 6:43. But it looks like it would have hit that scalp. So let's see, this pull down to 98. Yeah, entry be here at 90. Well, we wouldn't have taken it. It's too early in the push. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for new momentum too. Yeah, but it would have hit, see? So this is an example of the scalp entry that I was talking about, guys. A lot of speculation, but we're entering at like specific price points. So that one right there would have hit, man. It would have been perfect, actually. Would have literally filled the entry, went straight to TP. But yeah, I'm gonna wait for new momentum. So we don't even have to wait till 7, Maddie. If it comes up from now, because the market looks like it kind of slowed down a bit, I think I'm ready to take the scalps if they do come up. So guys, I'm going to be looking for these scalp entries that I mentioned. Again, I'm not going to explain it to you guys because it's very complicated. It's something that I have to teach people in person because it does require that you understand how to read price action and how to use these indicators properly. So yeah. All right, Maddie, I'm gonna look for the sell signal first. We're gonna wait for new momentum. There we go. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. So we want that sell signal, and then when the buy signal comes in, Maddie, we'll start looking for possible. Yeah, we'll look for possible entry here. Sorry, I'm checking something in the system real quick. Cool. Thanks, Yusu. CJ said, not sure if I did it right, but I took the overextended V1 at 642 and it hit TP. 641. I don't see a V1 here. CJ. I mean, maybe you did. I just don't see a V1 here at all. Okay, so let's see. I mean, it did go up 1,000 pips, but I don't see any double bodies over here or double wicks. So I can't say for sure if you take a V1, proper one. See our price came down here. There's another one right here at 602, CJ. So this one over here looks like it hit because this was overextended 1,000 pips already, the overextension. Or it was like 1,000 pips right there. I think the V1 happened like down here. So this one looks like it would have hit. I don't know about anything over here, but I don't know. I might be seeing things differently. All right, so we have the bullish momentum right there, Maddie. Start looking for an entry. There's no overall bias right now, guys. So there's no V1s that we can take at the moment. We're mainly looking for liquidity here to get hit. So just want to be careful for those. All right, Maddie, CC looks like a setup might be coming up soon. We need that buy signal though. And buy signal still hasn't come up yet. I kind of like that we're looking for the buy here for these scalps anyways, because we're going in the direction of liquidity, because we're looking for price to hit liquidity above anyways. So that bullish push is actually to our benefit. It's going in the direction that we're looking for. So we're kind of just going to ride this wave up as price gets closer to that level of liquidity. Right now, there's no overall bias, so we can't really look for V1 variations. Retail sentiment still flat. It's getting a little higher. It's 56% short, so it's a little higher. Fundamentals right here are also picking up. So as price continues to get higher and higher, or actually it's -10 now, or no, that's your, it's actually up 100 points. Okay, so if it stays above where it's currently at, then we may possibly be able to look for some V1s. Because if we get a bullish retail sentiment, say if this goes above 60% and it's bullish, then great, we'll start looking for that. It's now at 56, so we'll see if this ends up being the case. Bullish neutral. Fundamentals are bullish neutral as well. The only problem here is going to be, okay, so looking at this over here now, the technicals are actually neutral now. They're no longer bearish on the short side. And long term, they're also neutral as well. They're right down the middle. Here's Nathan. Nathan said he took the pre-market liquidity trade, done for the day, too tired to trade from work last night. So Nathan over here locked in a total profit of 1,470 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Nathan. He took a pre-market liquidity. So solid. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's all you need, guys. You need one trade and then you're good. I think someone like one of my buddies that trades live too, he posted this this screenshot where he basically, here, let me see if I can take a screenshot. Or yeah, okay, he posted it right here. I'm just airdropping the image to myself. So like, guys, if you guys are just patient and you guys, okay, so we have a buy signal right here. Yeah, so if you guys are patient and you guys just count on a couple trades a day, like $100 a day will make you 12,000 for the rest of the year. If you make 200 a day, you make 25,000. If you make 500 a day, you make 64,000, etc. Right? So the possibilities are pretty endless, right? When it comes down to it. Okay, so price is currently right here. We have a buy signal, Maddie. So I'm looking for that retracement down if that's the case. All right. So if this candle right here closes at the 10 mark, I'll be taking a buy real quick buy to the upside. If it closes anywhere below that, below the 10 or 9, then I'll be looking to, yeah, so if it drops like farther down like this, like 5 or 3, then I'll be looking for it to drop down to 0. Right there. Price is currently at 0.9, 11, 8. I'm waiting for it to drop a little lower, Maddie. It's kind of too close right there. Looking for it to drop down to 0. It was a little too close at that point. That would have been a good entry too. Yeah, it actually would have hit TP already, it looks like. Yeah, I would have hit TP already, Maddie. It was taken at 10. It's all good. We'll wait for the next retracement down. It was just too close. So guys, what I'm applying right here is a different type of strategy. It's not something that I've taught you guys before. It's a very advanced way of trading. Next level is going to be 10 right here, Maddie. Well, we're entering at like price points. I'm looking at the numbers right here on the side. So either it closes at 10 or we wait for it to come down to 0. Five. It's got 20 seconds left on it. Still got some time. And if it goes lower than that, 50 or 90 actually. It's at 5. So I'm looking for it to go down to 0, Maddie. Waiting for it to pull back to 0. If it starts to range right here, I'm just going to get out of it and I'll wait for the next one. It's at 3, 5, 7. Yeah, because it looks like it's starting to go back into a range. So if that's the case, I'm just going to wait. At 10. All right, gotta wait for the end. So it looks like it's starting to range right here. If price starts to range like this, Maddie, I'm just gonna wait on it. Can't be taking this when it's ranging sideways like this, and I'll just wait for the next opportunity. I think the news price right here is kind of being the issue. The pink line, Maddie. You guys see the line right there? The price is having trouble getting past the pink line. It slightly gets past it and then it just pulls back down. But again, guys, there's no V1 variations right now. There's no liquidity. I'm waiting for price to get up there. That's the direction that we're looking for. I'm looking to catch some scalps in between from now until it gets to the level of liquidity. This is actually the messy movement that I was talking about for the push to liquidity. So it's completely fine. This is exactly what we were looking for. But yeah, I'm going to hold off on this right now, Matty Sisu. No entries for me for that scalp. Price is just ranging too hard. So again, see, this is the reason why I can't teach you guys, like teach basic traders this, this strategy, because it's very complicated. You have to like understand price action. You have to understand when the market's going sideways. Most of it is pretty easy, but it's really just identifying, you know, when not to enter, because there's a lot of opportunities to enter here. Like earlier, I was telling Maddie there was an opportunity over here that actually would have hit TP at 10, but it would have like barely touched it. The volatility is just very low too. So we're gonna wait. Rashida said you try to use Ganbox for the new scalp. You can measure whatever confluence is at the middle, which is 50% more. Yeah, we used Ganbox before, Rashida. It's actually something that like Sisuk and I think CT like to use before, but yeah, it's not bad. I like the Ganbox. I just like using this the manual numbers though. It's just easier for me to keep track of. So I'm entering off whole numbers. I'm basically identifying where the algorithms are taking their bounces from. Because you can see if you guys like just mark up like whole numbers, like say 10, 30, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100, you'll see like wicks usually bounce off those price points. And that's typically where I identify where these algorithms are trading. You know, algorithms are trading super quick off these whole numbers and they just bounce off. So, all right, price is pushing back up right here. So Maddie, here's another opportunity that we'll look for if price does get, or it gives us an opportunity to take, you know, some sort of scalp here. So price is pushing up right here. Then we'll see if we get, you know, some sort of retracement. All right. All right, we got that retracement right here. Next level will be 20, Maddie. Price comes back down. Or if it closes around the 30 mark, it may actually be that was a little too close. Yeah, I'll look for it to pull back a little bit right here at the 20 mark. Yeah, you're right. There's news coming up. All right, I'm gonna hold off on that scalp entry, guys. We got news coming up right here at 7 o'clock. Thanks, Maddie, for the heads up. I'm gonna wait for news to pass too. So you guys can see the strategy is not very easy to apply. You have to like really be watching the chart, like literally by the second, and you have to be able to identify where these entries will come up. There's a lot of moving pieces here. The main gist of the strategy is very easy, but looking for entry points is a little complicated, especially if you have news around this time. So we do have news coming up right here. There was a possible buy entry that was going to come up. I'll just mark it up and I'll see if it plays through, even though there's news, but we'll just follow the news to see. So I'm not going to take the trade obviously because of the news, but we'll just see what's up here if this plays through. So basically, if there was no news at this candle, I'd wait for price to come down to this blue line and make my entry there for a quick 100 pips. And I get in and out quickly. I'm not in this position. I just want to show you guys. I just want to follow it to see. All right, so price comes down and touches this blue line. That's going to be entry point. It got close to it, but it didn't actually touch it. So you can see right there where it bounces, right? Price will come down to a certain price point, bounces directly. We get like perfect entry and go straight to TP, like within seconds. We use so there's a couple of things that I look for. I'll give you guys the basic gist of it. I'm looking for direction of price and direction momentum. So I got a bullish momentum right here. I got a green trend meter. Price is above the pivots. I know price is going up. The thing with this here is I'm looking for small retracements, and then I'm taking entry and then riding that to the upside. So that's why we can take the strategy here for quick scalps. But the main problem is just it's just really looking for opportune entry points, right? So there may be an opportunity right here, Maddie, if price, so either if it closes around the 30 mark with retracement, or if it continues to push up higher, but we do have news marked up right there. I'll take a look at the overall bias again, guys, in a bit to see if we're getting closer to liquidity right there. So as you guys can see, this is the messy movement that I was just telling you guys about. I want price to go up, retrace a little bit, push up, retrace a little more, and then push through. It's getting close to liquidity, guys, but it's a bit overextended. So I'd probably wait for maybe a possible fake out and then possibly a retest and then blast right through, because price did push up from here. It's up about maybe 600 pips, not super overextended, but it is a bit messy. So we are getting close to liquidity right there. Bounced directly off news price too. Gion took the 1 hour right there. So the 1 hour entry also played out. There's a lot of entries that are coming up right now, guys. A 1 hour entry, if you guys know the strategy or if you guys have been following. I know Natasha applies it. That one right there hit straight TP, it looks like 7 o'clock. Thanks, Gion, for following that as well. All right, so we got price retracing right here at the 40 mark. So either at the 40 mark or the 30 mark. If price closes at that 40, I'll take it for a buy. 100 pips. It's got to close like right at the 40 though, or just like 1 or 2 point difference. No, that's too far off. We're looking for price to pull back a little bit. And then enter at the 40 if possible. And it's things like, it's like a lot of blocky movement. It's not very smooth. Yeah, let's close at 44. It wasn't going to be entry point for me. We're looking for it to pull down to the 40. I mean, it's been pushing up for so long, Maddie. We might have to wait for another retracement, like actual momentum signal retracement. But we'll see. Price pulls down to this 40, possible entry for the buy there. So this number right here is where I'm looking for possible entry if that becomes the case. So it's a quick scalp, quick 100 pips. All right, so price is pushed back. So when it pushes higher like this, there's 2 things that I'm looking for here. If price starts to consolidate in range, then I'm not necessarily looking for entry at that point. Then I'm just going to wait for it to push away again, provide retracement, and then look for entry. However, if price pushes past this higher high, we got to look for another reset. So we need price to push away from it, retrace, and then look for another whole number for entry. It's a tricky market right now because we did have news right now just come up a bit like 4 minutes ago. And it's like, it's kind of tough right now. All right, price is getting close to liquidity too. So check out this area right here, guys, for liquidity. Price is retracing and it's consolidating like we mentioned earlier. If the price gets to this area of liquidity, I'm probably only going to go for 100 pips, guys. I'm probably not going to go for the full 300 because you can see the volatility here is not very high. I mean, if you want to go for the full push, feel free. But the way that I'm seeing it right here is that price will tend to have like a little push up and then it'll consolidate a bit. And then from there, you're going to be trapped in the position. So I'd rather just get in and out within 100 pips versus going for, you know, the full move there. So just look for liquidity there. I already got marked up. Yeah, this entry, I just missed the entry, Maddie. Fuck me. I missed it. You got it? All right, so Maddie got it. So again, this is why it's hard for me to show you guys because I have to go between screens. Liquidity over here, and then the entry actually happened right here. It closed at the 50, and that's where the entry would have been. It's all good. I'm not I'll catch the next one. There's going to be more entries. These scalp entries come up very often. There's like 20 or 30 entries that come up a day. And we'll probably have that opportunity if and when price gets to that point. So price is getting close to this level of liquidity right here. Again, like I mentioned, if you guys want to take it, I think a smaller TP would make more sense because the movement right here, you guys can see the volatility is extremely slow. So there we go, as price pushes through. I was looking for the other retracement right here, Maddie, if it came back down. I mean, it looked like it was going to, or it tried to. There goes liquidity right there, guys. I don't know if anybody caught it. It's running. Full TP on that. There's so much going on the chart right now. So liquidity right there got hit, guys. Like I mentioned, 100 pips would be solid. 300 pips would, I mean, it could probably hit. If it pushes through a little further, it'll probably have some volatility and it'll just continue to ride the wave. But, you know, like I mentioned, it was just going to be a quick touch right there for the 100 pips. So if you guys caught that, great. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on the chart right now. So it's kind of hard for a lot of you guys to just really fathom what's going through here. But yeah, I mean, if you guys caught the trade there, it played out. The other one right here played out too, Maddie. Price is now retracing down a little bit. I think price will maybe blast through it. Let's see if it goes through a little further. Yeah, so hopefully if you guys took the trade, you guys followed my, you know, my advice there to take just 100 pips, because if you went for the 300, you'd probably be trapped in the position right now. See. All right, so both of those pretty much hit already for the most part. Unfortunately, I didn't get to catch you guys, so I didn't take it myself. I'm not going to count it as my trade. But if you guys caught it, there's just so much going on the screen right now. The analysis played out perfect. This is kind of what we predicted. I mentioned if price was going to push up here, volatility was kind of low, so just go for the 100 pips. If you guys take it for 100 pips, would have went straight to your TP. If not, you know, you'd be trapped in the position. So generally, if I tell you guys it's going to be risky, it's probably going to be risky because we already saw this overextension right here. It kind of did what we were expecting. I said if price reaches this point up here, it's going to push up, consolidate a bit, be a little messy, consolidate a little further, then hit through, and then come back down. And that's literally what happened right there. So yeah, not sure if you guys caught it. Looks like a lot of you guys here did catch it though. So Kenny over here caught it, took a quick profit, total profit of 775 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. So solid profit right there. You got Vincent over here. Looks like yeah, so Vincent over here said he took the liquidity, hit his TP on TradingView, but not MT4. He should have just closed it out. Yeah, it happens. It's all good, Vincent. You'll make it back on the next one. We got Maddie over here. He took the liquidity as well. Total profit of 2,770 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Maddie. And then Maddie's other account over here, total profit of 3,780 for the day. All wins as well. So nice work right there, Maddie. We got Gian over here, took the same trade, total profit of 1,060, full TP. Nice work, Gian. Took the 1 hour entry. And we got Jonathan over here, took the same trade, total profit of 575 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Jonathan. Maddie here, 3,780, green strips. And we have Andreas over here, total profit of 891 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Andreas. Yeah, great work, guys. You guys did pretty good. Solid profits so far. Kenny here, 775. And Kenny again right here, 775. So solid profits off those trades. Looks like a lot of you guys took at least one of the trades based off the analysis. Some of you guys took the liquidity. Some of you guys took this entry right here, the scalp entry that we were looking at. And then some of you guys took the 1 hour entry over here. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities in the market, guys. It's really just being patient and waiting for those entries there. You could have followed any one of these entries, either the 1 hour, either the scalp entry that we're looking at here, or the liquidity push here that I mentioned to go for 100 pips. So, I mean, solid profits, guys. Maria said she caught a partial entry a little late. Rick said he got in, filled him really late, and then he got out. Yeah, no, that happens sometimes. The liquidity was just, it was just a little too too quick there. But I mean, depending on which one you guys decided to take, there's 3 different opportunities for you guys to hop into. And it looks like, I mean, they all kind of played out perfect, but not perfect, but they played out pretty decent. All right, so here we go. We're now waiting for another opportunity here. We got Casey here. He took 2 trades, total profit of 1,116 for the day. Nice work, Casey. Yeah, solid work, guys. So again, I'll try to like give you guys different opportunities. If I see different entries coming up, a lot of the times they're going to align with each other. Like if we're looking for a buy here on the 1 hour, it's probably going to align with the scalp that we're looking for here. And it's also going to align with liquidity here. So again, right here is price pushes up. Unfortunately, I didn't even get into any of these because I was too busy shuffling between the channels here. And I wasn't really focusing on just one. So I think in the future, I'm just going to focus on one. If you guys know liquidity is there, I'm just going to leave the liquidity up there and you guys will know. But my main focus will probably be on this scalping right here because this is the one that happens very quickly. So just, just a heads up, guys. And it looks like, all right, Jonathan said he got his account back to break even for the retry, done for the day. Nice work, Jonathan. Yeah, at this point, you should probably just leave that account alone. If you're looking for the retry, I think your retry comes out tomorrow or next week, right? So probably just leave it alone until next week, get that free retry and then get back on it. Yeah, we got a new momentum coming up right here, Maddie. Thanks for the heads up. Another possible scalp entry right here, guys. This price comes through. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it dropped to lower in the sellers right here because the retail sentiment's kind of high. If you guys can see over here, it's starting to pick up. It's back to 58% short. Fundamentals are bullish now, or they're not. They're actually right back. Or actually, I don't know why it keeps going to euro. We're in the New York session right now. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why it keeps reverting back to euro when we're in the New York session. Okay, so the Dow is actually up right now. So I think we might have a bullish bias. So we might be able to look for some V1 variations versus buys now. All right, short-term technical is still neutral. Everything is still neutral with regard to technicals, but everything else here is kind of more so bullish on the longer side. Maddie said, yeah, keeps going to euro. They're trying to manipulate CNBC too, right? It just doesn't, it's weird because on CNBC, I have it says US right here. If it was international, it would make sense, but I have it set to US and it keeps going to euro first, which is weird because it's a US company. Breaking news over here, it says Supreme Court rejects affirmative action at colleges, says schools can't consider race in admission. Yeah. Not really of a concern to us specifically with trading, but can't say I'm surprised. Supreme Court. Daniel said, would that liquidity be done even though it didn't blast through? No, so that's why I left it up there, Daniel. I left it up there because I mentioned price would fake out, come back up, and the liquidity is probably actually sitting a bit higher, like a little bit higher than that level right there. So liquidity is probably a little bit higher right here. So price, if it comes back and retests, which it probably will, it's probably going to blast even higher than where it's currently at. So yeah, thanks Daniel for the remark of it right there, but it's not done yet. That's why I left it up. So price is pushing back up. It did the fake out, like I mentioned. This has been happening a lot over the past couple of weeks. It'll get close to liquidity, fake out, and then it comes back through and then just blasts right through on the second or third attempt. Sometimes it fakes out twice. I'm not going to take it, but yeah, it's going right through again. And there goes the actual liquidity now. I'm not in it, but it's just too risky. I don't like getting in late like this. I like getting in if it hasn't touched it yet, but it actually already touched it. So nice. So Daniel actually caught this one here. He caught the second touch of liquidity, but this is like the actual push through. I wish I could go back and just replay my analysis because it did exactly what I said earlier, guys. So if you guys remembered earlier, I mentioned, price is probably going to push up. It's going to consolidate a bit, push up, fake out, come down hard, stop everybody out, go back up, kind of consolidate here a bit, maybe drop again, or it might just blast right through. So the analysis I gave this morning, it's like literally spot on. Sometimes like I don't even trust my own analysis. Like my analysis is good, and I do think it hits a lot of times, but I feel like you guys trust my analysis more than me because I'm just too careful. I'm a very careful person when it comes to trading. And even though I knew this was probably going to play out, I still didn't take it because I'm just too I'm too comfortable with my nest egg right now because I made so much profit on Monday where I'm just kind of like sitting on it right now and I don't want to lose it. So yeah, I mean, of course it's playing out nicely right here. So the thing is, once you guys get funded and you guys have multiple accounts, you're going to be a little more careful. Like for me, I'm analyzing the market and I'm showing you guys a lot of these different entries and they're all playing out perfectly fine, but I'm not taking them even though I do think it'll play out because I'm being a lot more careful with my entries here. Of course, you guys will understand once you guys are funded and consistent. The last thing I want to do is blow any of my accounts or like throw away profits that I made, past couple of days, because like a couple losses can set you back. So not really looking to get caught up in something like that. Maddie, there's another possible entry right here at 70. Price retraced right there at about 75. Entry would be at 70 if price pulls back a little more. All right, follow this right here. Check the 1 hour. Still hasn't gone down there yet. All right, so the 1 hour over here. See what the markup would be. I mean, it's still bullish. It's only 7 o'clock though. Let me see if I can mark up structure over here and see where it's currently at. Or let me go back to that one. I'm going to mark up some structure over here real quick. Level will be right there. Just another level here. I always forget to put this thing on. I just turn on the link so it latches on. I missed the entry. God damn it. Okay, damn, I missed the freaking entry. I don't know if anybody caught it, but I just realized that. Okay. So if anybody caught it, that's where I told you guys to make entry right at the 70. Maddie caught it. Damn, fucking missed it. I missed it by like, I don't know why I went off the chart. I went off the chart to kind of play around with the markups and it went right through. So yeah, you guys can see this strategy is very lucrative. It comes up super often. So yeah, it looks like a lot of you guys here caught it. I'm glad you guys caught it. I missed it again. That's my stupid mistake. I should have never went off the chart. Maddie caught it, Michael caught it, Rashida caught it, CJ caught it, Daniel caught it. Nice. All right, solid profits, guys. You guys can see this strategy is really, really lucrative. Like this comes up like all day. Like you can apply this from like 6 or basically 7 up until 12. That's where my testing went from. I apply this from 7 until 12, just 1 entry per momentum signal because obviously you're gonna get caught in some messy market movement. But you guys can see how like you can make a ton of money off this strategy. It's so super simple and it works. So I'll keep looking for these types of entries during the live session. But again, guys, I'm not going to explain the strategy to you guys. It's just a little too complicated for majority of the people here. Unless you're like very experienced, you're able to identify price action. and you're able to identify things very quickly. You guys can see that it moves very quickly. So when the retracement happens, you have to know where your entry is going to be at. I use whole numbers. So like basically 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100. That's where I make my entries from. Price will push up, retrace a little bit, get to that point. That's where I make the entry from. I just look for the algorithms where they're trading. They like to trade around whole numbers, and I just catch the bounce there. There's like no drawdown. So, yeah, we got enough time for maybe one more entry, but we'll see. We got to wait for a new momentum, Maddie, because this momentum is done with. So we're done with this momentum here. I need another sell signal to come up, and then another buy signal, and then continuation. Full TP on the liquidity push right here, guys. I don't know if anybody caught the full move, but yeah, full TP right there. Maddie said I'm missing entries today. I'm missing all the entries, bro. I didn't take any trades today. Like, what's going on? Man, there's just too much going on. I think I need to. Well, okay, so this strategy right here is kind of what's throwing me off, because it's like it requires a lot of my attention. And the thing is, it lined up with liquidity. I think in the future, this is not going to happen where the liquidity lines up with the scalp entry, because this is what's throwing me off. I'm looking at the scalp entry, I'm looking at the liquidity, and I'm going between charts, and my markups are different. So I'm looking at different things at once. And then also I was looking at the 1 hour over here for whatever reason. It's not even close to 8 o'clock yet. I was looking at the 1 hour here entry, and it just throws me off. So I think it's okay. This is the first day I'm starting to implement this other strategy. So, man, there's also a V1 variation right there too. I don't know if anybody else caught that. Actually, never mind. They weren't double body. I thought it was a double wick, but this one's a little longer. But it's all good. I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here are profiting off my analysis. I'll take the L for today by not taking any trades, but I'm glad that you guys are profiting off the analysis. Tomorrow I'm going to come more prepared, and I'm going to be more focused. It's just this is throwing me off because I'm looking at too many things at once. I just got to focus on one chart, one strategy, and then just take those entries. If I focused on just one of these, if I focused on liquidity, could have taken one there. If I focused on just this, I could have taken two there. If I focused on just this, I could have taken this one here, because Gion took the 1 hour. A lot of you guys took the scalp right here, and then a lot of you guys took the liquidity. I took like none of them, but it's all good. I'm just glad to see that you guys here, profited on it. So I'm just this was just a practice day anyways. I haven't applied that strategy live. I've just back tested it and watched it during pre-market, but I'll be more prepared tomorrow. So it's all right. Oh, man, what kind of frustrated, but it's all good. I'm still good for the week, so that's the thing that I am still happy about. So I'll just give you guys a little update there for the liquidity push, and then we'll look over everybody's profits. Because this was the main strategy we were looking at anyways. We were mainly looking for this liquidity push to hit for that retest. I didn't catch on the first one, and I didn't catch on the retest. I should have at least caught it on the retest, but that's just my bad. So some profits over here from Eunice. Eunice locked in a total profit of 402 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Eunice. We've got Jamie over here. Jamie's currently up 602 for the day, all wins as well. Nice work, Jamie. Glad to see you profiting here. And we got Kenny over here, more profits from his side, a total profit of 1,875. Great work, Kenny. Take that push to the upside. We got Patrick over here. Patrick said your new momentum strategy is lining up with my own personal strategy. Nice, Patrick. So Patrick here took my analysis to his advantage, took his own trade here, lined up with my entry, total profit of 3,554. Nice work, Patrick. Yeah, I'm glad my analysis is like kind of pretty much pushing a lot of you guys to the next level. Gian over here took that trade too, total profit of 3,200 for the day. Nice work, Gian. And you guys did good. And Andrew over here said analysis came in clutch again, total profit of 2,120, all wins. Nice work, Andrew. Yeah, you guys did great today. I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here profiting. As long as somebody here in the group is profiting off my analysis, that's good enough for me. If I'm not profiting, go figure, whatever. It's all good. I made a pretty good profit yesterday, so I'm still happy for the week. I did miss out on maybe like 2 trades, which would have equated to like, like almost 10K, but it's all good. I'll do that tomorrow. Natasha over here as well, total profit of 1,122, all wins as well. Nice work, Natasha. And the crazy thing is Natasha's doing this from her phone. All she's doing is she's listening to my analysis on her phone, and then she's executing the trades manually on her phone too. So if Natasha can do this, like there should be no problem with people profiting on their computer, right? She's already at a handicap and a disadvantage trading on her phone. She doesn't even have a quick trade manager. You can see she has no green strips here ever because she's entering and exiting manually, which is crazy. I don't recommend anybody do that, but I mean, it works for Natasha, so love to see that. Maria here as well. She's currently at 171 for the day. Great work, Maria. Looks like your trade psychology is getting a little bit better. Holding the trades, maybe not to full TP, but you are holding the trades a little bit longer. And then we have a Nelly over here, total profit of 1,984 for the day, all wins as well. So nice work right there, Nelly. So don't worry, guys, I'm looking over profits, but there's no entries for us to take here anyway. So you guys are not missing out on anything so far. And then we've got Martha over here. Let's see what Martha locked in. Martha locked in well over 2,000 for the day, almost 3,000 for the day. Nice work, Martha. So great work right there. Maria said maybe you can allow Maddie to talk in the Zoom, allowing he's telling if an entry. Yeah, no, for sure. If you want to talk, Maddie, just let me know. I don't know if you want to talk. You don't need to, but if you want to, I can enable your mic. I'll just make you a co-host. So I'll just make you a co-host now, Maddie. If you want to talk, talk. If not, you don't have to. Just mute yourself. I just made you a co-host to the live. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks, Maria, for the, because Maddie used to help me before anyways, when you would hop on. See, other than that, Rick said, what's with the slippage today? I know the market's just been kind of all over the place. Yeah, exactly. No, that's good, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie said I may stick to typing. I need a lot of focus for this strat. Yeah, no, it's fine. And that's fine too, Maddie, because I still see the chat here. I'll just might make the chat a little bigger. And then I'll just whenever I see Maddie comment, because Maddie usually comments to me privately, so I see his message. So it's all good, Maddie. I know you do. Yeah, Maddie said he needs to focus on the strat, which I agree with you 100%. This strategy requires like a lot of focus because the whole numbers are not so far apart. We're only going by the tenths. So I'm going to keep looking for entries here, guys. If I see any more, I'll let you guys know, because I think this strategy might be better than nearly anything else that we apply. Because the good thing about this strategy is that you're able to cut your losses smaller, and the net is a lot tighter too. Not a lot tighter, it's like 500 pips tighter. But yeah, the net is 25 instead of 30. Because for this strategy, you typically want to cut losses a little earlier if possible, and then just make it back on the next trade. There's going to be multiple entries that would come up. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens next. Thanks, Daniel, for the heads up. We got news right here at 7:30. It's oil news, so it's not high impact, but it can affect the market depending on how off it is. Yeah, no, Maddie's going to help. Maddie will help with giving me the heads up if he does see anything. Okay, so now at this point, this is actually perfect now because we're no longer looking for liquidity, and my main focus can stay on the scalps. So there's there's another level of liquidity up here. It's about 1,000 pips away. But now that liquidity is so far from where price is currently at, I can mainly focus on the scalps here because the 1 hour doesn't come up for another 30 minutes. So I can just leave this chart alone. And our main focus would be looking for either V1 variations or looking for scalp entries. So yeah, I'll try to find a little more for you guys, and then we'll go from there. Of course, there's a news candle. Delete that. But yeah, hopefully, I think you guys are going to like the strategy a lot. It's very fast paced, but if you guys are able to pay attention and just focus, I'll try to give you guys as much of a heads up as possible when it's coming up. And then you guys can just wait for the, I think the good thing about this entry too, is that it's at a price point. So it's actually a lot easier to, follow because you're just looking for a certain price to get touched. And once you get touched, you can take the entry and just ride that thing up. But yeah, for the most part, let me see if there's anything else here. Yeah, there's nothing else here that I can see specifically. Nice. So Kevin over here took the buys too. His price was riding up. He's up 34,818. That's crazy. Yeah. So this strategy that we're applying is kind of similar to like what Kevin's applying here, except Kevin, it looks like he continues to enter trades multiple times. So like, for example, here, the bullish momentum, you could have taken like maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There might have been like about 6 entries here that you could have taken if you took multiple entries within each momentum. But for me personally, I think you're going to find better consistency if you just take it with one momentum. The thing with Kevin here is that he knows how to read the market. So like when he's reading the market, he's trading like without a stop loss, which is okay with him because he knows how to do it. But I can't recommend anybody else here to do that because I know a lot of people will either over leverage and they'll just take too much risk on. So for Kevin, he's able to take these multiple moves within momentum, and then he'll just trade without a stop loss, right? And it'll hit his TP eventually. So yeah, with Kevin, it's a little different because he's able to do that. But for the majority of people here, I wouldn't recommend that. So I'm just taking trades once per momentum. The actual strategy is how Kevin is doing it, with taking multiple entries per momentum, because you can see over here, when you had a sell signal and price was bearish, every time price retraced up, could have taken one trade there. So there's 1 entry, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. 5 back-to-back wins for just this small period of time right here within 30 minutes, I guess. So yeah, nice work, Kevin. He caught the bullish move there. He pretty much caught it from open here and just kept riding it up further and further and further and further. So amazing work right there on Kevin's side. Let's see. All right, price is pushing up right here now. There's no V1 variations up right now, but would have been nice if we had one right there. So there was a price drop right here, but there's no double body or double wick. So there's no entries that could have been taken. Price is starting to push up right here. Yeah, it's swinging back up, but it's still kind of far from the liquidity up there. So basically what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a buy signal, and then I'm looking for a retracement, and then I'm going to get in for a pullback at a whole number. That's like literally the gist of it right there, strategy. We're using the trend meter and momentum to identify direction. Right now, obviously, price is very bullish. We just need that momentum signal to actually close to provide opportunity for entry. Here's Barty over here. Barty said he locked in 581 for the day, closing his terminal, locking 1%. Nice work, Sam. Yeah, great work right there. So I'll probably put up a poll in the group. We'll keep doing this for the time being. And then I'll put up a poll in the group, maybe over the next week or so. And then from there, we can decide what you guys want me to focus on. Because, right now you can see that it's pretty messy. We're looking at like about 4 different strategies now. We're looking at the 1 hour, which it doesn't happen very often, but we're still looking at it. We're looking at this new momentum, basically scalp type strategy. We're also looking at the V1 variation, and then we're also looking at liquidity. So I'll probably put a poll up. We'll just keep going through this, and I'll go through each strategy, and then I'll put a poll up to see which strategy you guys want me to focus on mainly. I think the one that you guys are going to want me to focus on mainly is probably going to be the scalping strategy, because more opportunities come up. Plus, you have the opportunity to cut your losses sooner. So there's less risk with this strategy. It just requires more focus and more paying attention. So I'll keep doing this, and I'll apply all the different strategies for the next couple of days, maybe next couple of weeks. And then from there, we'll try to decide what our main focus will be. Because we should have one main focus. Like one strategy should be like the main focus, so that there's going to be one that like nobody misses. But I mean, on most days, I think it'll be fine. Today was just messy because liquidity was so far away. Typically, we'll have liquidity knocked out early in the market. So like usually liquidity will get hit within the first, 5-10 minutes. And then after that, we can just focus on this chart where we can look for V1 variations and then also look for the other scalps. I'll have to come up with a name for this new scalping strategy. It's going to have to be very specific. I was going to call it, what did I call it, Maddie? I called it a name, but I think we already have a strategy by that name. I mean, I guess we could do that. It's called momentum pullback scalp. And there's a criteria right there. Yeah, so let's call it the momentum pullback scalp, because I think it's going to be a lot easier if we just focus on one chart versus shuffling between, 3 different charts. Oh, we'll see. All right, Rick said retail sentiment is now 60% short, so we're probably going to keep looking for some more buys. The sentiment is starting to pick up. Looks like a lot of retail traders are looking to take this short, which is completely fine. They can take it short, and we'll keep looking for buys. We'll do the opposite of retail. So it's not very bullish, but it is bullish now. 60% bullish. Fundamentals are still very bullish as well. Let me check that real quick. Refresh. Currently up 172 points. So very bullish right now. Looking over here at the technicals. The technicals are still not very bullish though. The long-term technicals are bullish neutral, but short-term is still neutral. But the overall bias here is definitely bullish. So we'll see. We can probably look for some V1 variations over here if possible. I'll probably have to keep 2 different markups here, or I'll just use one and change it up. Nice. Yeah, Barty said today liquidity push got him crazy. Gold just melted. It's probably based off the news this morning. There was news indicating, something like that would play out. Let me check the news for tomorrow. So we got news tomorrow. Again, pre-market, core PC price index, inflation news, basically. Chicago PMI at 645, revised UOM, basically a lot of inflation news tomorrow morning. So we'll see that. So there's a V1 variation that's setting up right here, guys, but it's touching the news price. So unfortunately, this is going to be a red flag. It can't be touching the news price like that. It's too close. So this here would technically, if it closes with a green candle, it would technically be a V1 variation, but it's just right next to the, actually it's touching it again there. So it wouldn't fit the criteria for a V1. Yeah, Maddie said there might be a fake out to the downside, which I can see too. And then possibly, obviously a swing back up. So it's getting close to 8 o'clock, guys. I got to be strict with my cutoff at 8, because I know if I keep going after 8, I'm just going to want to take more trades and it's not going to end well. But okay, as price starts to shift to the downside, this is another reason why I think this the momentum pullback scalp strategy is going to be a favorite for everybody here, because we don't need to trade in the direction of bias. So bias may be bullish, but if price switches below and it swings below, we can continue to look for scalps to the downside. So if price swings below, trend meter turns red, pivots are angling down, price is below the pivots, we have sell momentum, then in that case, we can start looking for some more sells. So this strategy is pretty much applicable throughout the entire day. It's not based off any bias, it's based mainly off technicals. But they're very precise technicals. They're technicals that need to be analyzed very closely. So still no V1 here. There was one that was pending, but even if we do get a V1, it's not going to be an entry because it's right at news price, which is obvious red flag for us. Here's some profits from Patricia. She took about a couple trades here, total profit of 3,779 for the day. Sorry, 3,790 for the day. Nice work, Patricia. And then we've got Natasha over here, total profit of 1,325. Nice work, Natasha. All right, you guys are doing good. Nice work, guys. Very solid, very consistent. You can see the trend meter down below starting to turn blue. I know we have a bullish bias, but this is fine because if this is the case, then we may shift. However, this is actually good because we get a harder retracement here. So when price does swing back up, we can start looking for some more possible buys. But again, we need price to be very clear in the direction of momentum and trend. Right now, it's a bit indecisive. It's going down the middle. We actually need price to be a bit higher over here before we can start looking for any possible entries. See if I missed anything over here. All right. All right, so we don't really have much of a direction here. The volatility is starting to die down a bit. We can't take scalps, or we can't take that scalp. What did I call it again? Momentum pullback scalp. Okay. I don't think I have a strategy call that yet. If there's a strategy call that and you guys are familiar with it, let me know and I can change the name. But I know we have a momentum pullback, but not a momentum pullback scalp. We can only there's only so many names that I can create for these strategies because everything is based off momentum and everything's based off trend. So, there's only so many different variations I can mix up the word momentum. But yeah, okay, price is starting to shift down right here. I know the bias is still bullish, but this is fine. If price swings down, that's completely fine. We can look for some more entries for scalps on the sell side. So price swings down, retraces, continues down. If the trend meter turns red, price stays below the pivots are angling down, and we can still look for sells because we don't use bias for this strategy. This is strictly technical. It's basically like trading so with this strategy here, we're basically identifying where the algorithms are trading. I'm trying to identify where these algorithms are taking these bounces from, and I'm just going for a quick move. The other strategies, like say, for example, liquidity push, we're basically doing the opposite of retail traders. So if you guys understand the logic behind that, for the liquidity push, we're looking to outsmart the retail traders. For this scalping strategy, the momentum pullback scalp, we're using this to trade with algorithms, basically. Not necessarily, I mean, it's impossible to really trade exactly how they do, but I'm looking for specific price points where these algorithms bounce from. And I'm just looking to catch that little inconsistency and just get in and out very quickly for 100 pips. Because that's typically how much of a movement you can catch for US30 here specifically. So I'm just thinking outside of the box. I'm trading like nobody else out there. Because if you trade like everybody else, that's typically where you start to get burned, because everyone gets burned at some point when the market does the opposite of them. So we'll see if there's any other entries here. The only thing we can possibly look for here would probably be, there's no more V1 variations, because now that I see price dropping down below here, I can see that the numbers here are, well, I could already predict that the numbers here are starting to change. Let's take a look at the fundamentals real quick. Fundamentals are starting to weaken. You can see it's at 126. If it keeps dropping any lower, it's going to go below 100. We're no longer going to have fundamental bias there. Looking over here at retail sentiment. Sentiment's still the same, 60%. I think the only main thing here that's kind of screwing it up is going to be the technicals. Because in order for us to have a V1 variation, we need to have overall bias, right? So if the short terms here turn bearish, then it's no longer going to be bullish anymore, right? We have somewhat of a bullish bias, but the fundamentals are starting to shift. This is just going to be bullish neutral. It's not going to be very bullish. And this is anticipated. It's getting close to 8 o'clock. So, I mean, this is usually how the market starts to move around 8. This is the reason why we stopped trading at 8, because it's just not worth the risk. So we'll see, but I'm pretty excited for us to be applying this strategy. I feel like this strategy keeps us a bit more engaged too, because sometimes we'll get bored. There's like no entries and you'll see me yawning throughout the session if there's nothing for us to look at. But with this scalping strategy, it actually keeps you pretty engaged, because if you're looking for a specific entry, whether it be a buy or a sell, there's a lot of opportunities for entry. And from my testing, there's like 20 or 30 entries from 7 to 8, there's about like maybe 5 entries. So we're going to have at least 1 entry a day, like almost guaranteed there's going to be 1 entry a day. Compared to like liquidity, where sometimes there'll be a good entry, sometimes there might not be any entry at all. And same with the V1. So there's a V1 pattern setting up right here, guys. I wouldn't necessarily take it, because the bias right now is it's not very strong anymore. Short term is neutral. I think long term is also neutral. Fundamentals are turning neutral too. So there's a V1 pattern right here. I personally would not take it. I'll mark it up for you guys if you guys do decide to maybe take it, but I'm not going to take it. So I'll mark it up for you guys here. Actually, it's not going to be an entry. It's going to be too close to the news price right there. Red flag. Yeah, so I'll mark it up, but I'm not going to take it, because you can see it's getting really close to the pink line right here, which is a red flag news price. I'm not going to take that risk, especially not this late in the session. It's 37.48, 750. Volatility is starting to die down a lot. Yeah, so this right here, unfortunately, would be a red flag. Not to say that it won't hit, but for me personally, I wouldn't take it. And there it goes, straight to TP. Yeah, so if you guys caught it, I still gave you guys the opportunity to take it if you guys wanted to, but I told you guys I wasn't going to take it, so it's all good. I'd rather have no trades than have a loss, and it being a dumb loss, which I knew I could have lost on the trade. So great work, guys. Let's see. Patrick said this scalping strategy is the kryptonite to Sean's yawn indicator. I know, right? I mean, this is exactly what we needed. The thing is, it requires me to stay focused all throughout the session. I can't be like dozing off or looking at random stuff or answering messages. So yeah, we'll see how this ends up going for the next couple of weeks or so. But we'll play it by ear and see where this ends up taking us. But yeah, if you guys caught the V1 variation right there, played out perfect. I didn't take it, not going to count as a trade. The only trades that I count are the ones that I'm personally taking myself. So nothing there. It looks like Ross here took a trade as well. Total profit of 9,480. Nice work, Ross. He took 1 loss, but he still ended up with some massive profits for the day. So great work, Ross. You're killing it. I mean, it would have been nice if you didn't have a loss there because you'd be up like maybe 12,000, but 9 will do, right? Nine will do the job. So great work right there, Ross, with locking in that profit and staying consistent. So, all right, other than that. Barty said, when will the strategy be? Will strategy be released, Sean? Never. Never, Barty. Not to beginner traders. For this specific strategy, for me to teach you guys this, it's going to have to be taught in person. To my understanding, for now, it's going to have to be taught in person, and you'll have to fill out an application for it because I'm not going to just teach a strategy to anybody. For one, it's just way too profitable. This is one of the strategies that I probably won't want to teach to people. I'll do it live so that you guys can see. But in order for you guys to really take full advantage of the strategies, you have to really I have to work with you one-on-one, because this strategy is there's too many moving parts. Identifying direction is easy, but reading price action and identifying other things is just going to be it's just a lot of work, because the thing is you have to be very, very assertive, and you can't be like wondering, what do I do in this situation? It's either you know what you're doing or you don't. Because the thing with this is like, you got to get into the entry. If the entry turns against you, you have to be able to pull out. You can't have your emotions come into play. You just got to close out for a small loss and then move on to the next one, because these losses are they're so minimal. Like, let me see if I have a screenshot over here. Hope you don't mind, Gian, pulling up your screenshot. Yeah, so this is a screenshot from a test just from a couple of days ago. It was like, this is just a back test and this is only from 7 to 8. It was like 21 wins and just 1 loss, which was minimal. So you think about that, 21 wins and the loss was like, I think 100 pips. So 21 wins times 100, which is 21,000 minus 100. And if I'm doing like $20 per, if I'm doing a 200 lot, it's like a 40,000 profit within, and that's just one account. So that's a lot of profit off just this one strategy, applying like maybe a few, like 3 or 4 times a day, or maybe even less. Loss was 250. Okay, Gian, thanks. Yeah, so Gian, he took the back test of it. Let me see how many days was that, Gian. And don't worry, guys, there's no entries right now, so you guys are not missing out on anything. We're waiting for something here to come up. So yeah, let me check that again, Gian. Yeah, so this was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 days. Basically the last 13 days it was, and he skipped Juneteenth. So last 13 days, that was 21 wins times 100. I'll just delete this again. 21 wins times 100, it's 21,000 pips, or 2,100 pips. Gian3 lost 250 on that one trade. It's 1,850 pips times $20 a pip. So that's the 37,000 in like 13 days per one account. So I have, we'll divide that by 2. So 18,500 times 5 accounts. That's almost 100K in like 2 weeks. That's crazy for just that one strategy. So I'm just thinking about all the all the possibilities. If something's just like one of the main focuses, it's not going to be the very main focus, because we'll still be looking at liquidity. Liquidity still works perfectly fine, so we'll still be using that. There's just no liquidity right now. This is actually the optimal time for me to look for other entries, because liquidity is up here. So instead of us just being bored for like the next 20 minutes or so, because liquidity is up there, 1,700 pips away, and liquidity is down here, 2,000 pips away. So odds of us getting to liquidity, the last 30 minutes of a session is very unlikely. So when that becomes the case and liquidity is pretty much done with for the day, we'll just move over here and then look for some V1 variations, and then also the momentum pullback scalps. So there's just a lot of different opportunities here that can it just opens up a lot of opportunity for, a lot of profit and then minimal losses. So they're basically just like additional profits on top of what we're already applying. So if you're applying the 1 hour strategy, that's like additional on top of that. If you're applying liquidity, that's additional on top of that. If you're applying the V1 variation, that's an additional on top of that. So you pretty much have basically a cushion of extra profits to just either cover your trades or to add on to them. All right. Sorry, Barty. Barty's just asking about too many questions on the Zoom, on the YouTube. I had to make this YouTube private right now. Barty's like blowing up DMs right now. I appreciate you, Barty. Barty's like, TP stop loss for that strategy. Did you apply that strategy today? Bro, I just said I'm not going to explain the strategy. So I closed the YouTube. For now, I'm not going to go on live tomorrow either. I'm just going to do this for you guys. So the YouTube I made private today, and then I just made it public like halfway through because we're already done trading for the most part. Tomorrow I'm just going to make it completely private. So tomorrow we'll look for the same entries, and then we will focus. Look at what Barney said. He said, "What happened here? Video's unavailable because I made it private." Look at all his messages, guys. Look at Barney's messages right here. This dude messaged me like so many times. Sorry, Barty, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, Patricia said this strategy should be private for paid customers. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Patricia. So I think for the next couple, I'm probably not going to go on public on YouTube as much anymore. I said I was going to go on like maybe, once or twice a week. But this strategy is too powerful. I don't want to share this with anybody. I don't want to share it with you guys. So I'm going to keep it on here, and we're just going to, we're just going to be applying the strategy on here. I think it's going to be very lucrative. So, all right, guys, it's getting close to 8 o'clock. If there's any other question that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Hopefully, a lot of you guys made profit today. I didn't take anything, so I'm cool with that. I'm just glad that you guys locked in, a ton of profit. So I'm pretty excited for the next couple of weeks. A lot of these old strategies are coming back into mind, and I'm able to improve on them because I now have these indicators. I didn't have the indicators back then, so I couldn't do this 1 hour strategy as consistently as I do now. And also with the scalp strategy, having the momentum indicator, the trend meter, and the pivots and the high lows all tied in together, this allows us to really excel with these types of scalping entries. So yeah, I agree with you 100%, Natasha. So yeah, thanks, guys. But I think that's about it. So if there's any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, come back here same time, same place tomorrow, and we're going to keep taking some more of these scalps. But market's going sideways right now. We don't have the retracement signal, so there's nothing for us to take here at the moment. There's no V1 variations because price is in between all of these red flags, and there's no liquidity here because price is so far from the top liquidity and the bottom liquidity. So, all right, guys, other than that, there's also no 1 hour entry because there's no bullish momentum here. So I just gave you guys a full analysis of like literally everything, nothing for us to take here. Probably best to just call it a day. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the